subscribe. It's red at youtube.com.
Complaints this evening from the executive members of the Morton Park Strata Complex in Kingston. The members argue that the revised Strata Act was supposed to solve many of their problems, but has made their lives worse. Fashion Brown has more.
It's an issue that should have been fixed under the revised Strata Act. Owners not paying their maintenance fees, leaving executive members of strata corporations fuming. The members complain that without the maintenance fees, they're unable to do repairs. The executive of this strata complex in Morton Park also complained that the revised strata law is ineffective. For example, they say the law mandates persons to pay their maintenance fees, but the delinquency rate is still high.
You must feel the difference between the old and the new. Under the old we were suffering, and under the new we are suffering. And we are even suffering more because we didn't have the commissioner of strata who needed money for everything.
But the revised Strata Act includes a procedure for the sale of a strata property if the owner fails, neglects or refuses to pay contributions to the strata corporation. That procedure includes a power of sale certificate, which is issued by the Commissioner of Strata if the executive shows proof that they have tried everything to get the person to pay up, ultimately resulting in the sale of the house of delinquents. But the Morton Park executive members maintain that they have applied for the certificate, but it takes money they do not have. However, the Strata Commission says there is a provision in place if they do not have the money, but they must provide proof they can't really afford it. The Morton Park Strata say they were not aware they had that option. For now, the public relations officer says they're left to face the consequences.
As a result of that, we stand to be in breach because there's a cess that the Commissioner of Strata charges us. And if we do not make that payment, there's a penalty of $250,000. And for the past 2 years, we have not been able to, be on time with our payment.
The Strata Act states that the Commission is responsible for monitoring, regulating and supervising strata corporations. But Mrs. Francis says that function is not being carried out. The Commission maintains that the executive had visited the agency for assistance and it had addressed their concerns. Fashion Brown, TVJ News.
Residents of Hague and Trelawney are calling on the Trelawney Health Department to investigate a possible health risk in the community. They say wastewater from a sewage pond from the Stonebrook Vista housing scheme is flowing into their homes. They're also concerned about the odour coming from 2 existing sewage ponds and plans for the construction of a 3rd pond. Rowan Powell reports.
The residents took to the streets today demanding that something be done. This man points to an area across from his house that he said is being prepared to build a 3rd sewage pond. He's upset that the authorities approved the construction of the sewage pond so close to their houses.
Yeah. Look at this. Look how close is this. Do anybody would have the preference to say, look, it must go and cause an effect. It's going to cause an effect on us because it's so close. Even when they cover it up, you're going to smell any type of stench anyway.
A few yards from him, his neighbor shares the same concern. He says the odor from the ponds is affecting his family, especially at nights. To add insult to injury, the pond is used to process sewage from another community while they are forced to endure the smell.
Why they not build a pit up by the people who they use the pit? Why they not build up for them community? Why they have to come build it in a free community straight in a which part we live? Less than 100 feet from our yard. And we have to go endure the smell. Go build up at the people them place, man, and make them kind of endure for them smell.
The residents said they are also being affected by the blasting and the dust from the construction. To make matters worse, they say the value of their houses is being affected.
Turn the water and it's coming up in the backyards of other people there. And it is right and going straight into the mangrove, and it is unfair. We've talked to the parish council. The parish council says they got the okay from NEPA. How could NEPA agree to put sewage there, right in the middle of the community?
The stench, the rats, the mosquitoes, with the flies, you can't leave your door open, you can't open your windows, you can't sleep on your bed at night because dust on the bed. People who never have asthma is now being affected.
Meanwhile, Managing Director for Chemtech Development and Construction Limited, Sylvester Toller, says the company has complied with all the requirements as stipulated by the authorities. In a release, The management outlined that the National Planning and Environmental Agency, NEPA, the Trelawney Parish Council, and the Ministry of Health all approved the construction of the sewage ponds. It states that Chemtech did not receive any communication from the residents about their concerns, but the company is willing to meet with them. The company says claims that sewage is flowing into homes cannot be substantiated. According to Mr. Tuller, maintenance on the ponds is done every 2 weeks, and the results of the tests are way above the required standard. Checks with NEPA have confirmed that the company is in compliance with NEPA's standards. NEPA says it will follow up on the residents' concerns. Rohan Powell, TVJ News.
Several vendors who plied their wares at a makeshift arcade in the old Maypen police station picketed the offices of the Clarendon Parish Council today. That's because the police have decided to remove their stalls as a deadline for them to move has expired. And we hear more from Kimone Witter.
The operation started yesterday morning with those who plied their wares inside the Maypen market. This morning, it was the turn of those who sell on the town streets. The operations were met with anger and the age-old cry of unfair treatment by the parish council. The people say they were given until the end of June to stop selling on the premises of the old police station. But with that time now gone, the police stepped in to enforce the removal order today. The livid vendors massed at the offices of the Clarendon Parish Council this morning, demanding answers from Mayor Sian Barneswell. Some were angered by the fact that when they got there, they were not able to speak with the mayor.
If the mayor is not here to represent the people, we're going straight back to cell until the mayor come along, because he's never around. So when he's around, we will know what to do. Then we until Saturday the 30th, we left from over at our station. Where Arcade we are going at?
But when Mayor Barneswell arrived, this was his position.
Plan of action to relocate the food vendors from that side of the old market to the new side. We start the work. We are 1 week behind schedule. We say we would have it in place by the 30th of June. We are 1 week behind schedule. But nevertheless, we still need to remind you that the date is the end of June. Now, I was expecting that one of you would come and say, boss, I'm on to know what is happening.
This, however, was no consolation for the higglers, who still refused to use the market, saying it has not been properly prepared to house them.
How can they put people that selling clothes with people that selling food? Food can't mix with clothes. I never see that from the day born. Maypen need an arcade. Arcade we want an arcade we need.
Right now we don't want to grow in the market, because right now we grow in the market at PAT around there. So right now if them can give me a proper arcade over here, so we will go on with it.
The mayor, however, urged them to cooperate and help him to bring order to the town. Kimone Witter, TVJ News.
The Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, says it will use tests from samples collected in Portmore to determine the nature and cause of the hazardous substance released into the air last week. Director General at the ODPEM, Ronald Jackson, says the test could be completed by the end of this week. However, he could not say exactly when. Some persons had to be evacuated from the ports, the Portmore leg of Highway 2000 and sections of Portmore. The mysterious gas had caused at least 5 persons to seek medical attention.
A community was left in distress and teachers and students forced to evacuate their school this morning after a fire reportedly set by a farmer got out of control. About 5 acres of land have been affected by the fire. Residents pointed our news team to the Junction Fire Station, which has no unit to respond to the blaze. People from the area resorted to buckets to put out the blaze. They are even more perturbed because the fire station is close by.
No fire truck, we need fire truck.
I saw some smoke this morning, but I was sort of monitoring and I thought more or less I had it under control. My wife went to church and then a lady from the fire station called to say that there was a breakaway fire over here. So, we looked and we saw what was happening. Fortunately, these guys came along and we were able to contain it. The gentleman that set the fire, I think he was into some farming thing. I haven't seen him. I was made to understand that he was warned against starting any fire because with the breeze and the drought and the dryness, it could be catastrophic.
This evening, Krista Campbell highlights the Citizens Association's efforts to rebuild a positive image for a Portmore community by providing needy services free of cost to residents.
A health fair like no other in Portsmouth, St. Catherine. This first-time initiative of the Citizens Association was an attempt to create and hopefully maintain a positive image in a community that has seen its share of negative incidents over the years. The health fair and fun day provided something for everyone, but children seemed to appreciate it on a different level.
You can do nails, hair, and you can win prizes by doing a lot of activities like kicking into a goal or other things.
And if the support from the community is anything to go by, it was a success. About 600 people turned out to make use of a wide range of mostly health services which were offered for free.
Eye tests, eye screening, HIV tests, heart tests, blood tests, pressure tests.
The Diabetes Association also offered free Doppler tests, that is, checks for proper blood circulation inside the feet. The health minister commended the support of the various government agencies, particularly those providing health-related services, and he explained the significance.
Non-communicable diseases, their diabetes, their hypertension and so on is costing the country over $170 million annually. And so when we get help, we are eternally grateful.
We have found out that a lot of people weren't aware of the diabetic status, and because of this event, they were aware that they are diabetic.
As for the many residents who made good use of the opportunity, the consensus is that it should be an annual event.
It's good for that the people can get them check up and various things where they would have a harder time to get the money to pay at the doctor.
Many patients have to wait sometimes. The waiting time in our public institutions is of such that when you have health fairs, for many it is bringing them up on the timeline.
With a ray of hope, I'm Krista Campbell.
Now, a reminder of the feedback question: do you think Usain Bolt will make a comeback in the London Olympics? Our automated system is down this evening, so you'll have to call 733-2000. That's 733-2000.
The Business Day and international stories are next.
If you have information about any of these missing persons, please call 119 or the nearest police station.
Subscribe. It's red at youtube.com.